they know a lot of the baddies. Let's just start there. If you're cool with them, trust me, you're going to get a lot of baddies. So fair. 2, if you're actually cool with them, they're not dumb. They know the guys that are gay are not gay. What's good, people? It's your favorite podcast man back again with another one. I am Michael Scenario.
And I'm Mure. Welcome, Koya.
And you are welcome back to Menisms. What's up, my people? How are you? Hope you're good. Hope you're having a blessed week. I am using the last of my energy to talk to you people because we just had Sunday at Ilashe. Does your boyfriend know you're there? So we are recovering. That's why the shades are on, as you can see. So I'm not doing cool guy for any of you watching this. I am tired. How are you doing?
So I wouldn't even say I'm recovering from a flu because it just started.
Yes.
So it was a long weekend. We had a holiday and
very nice long holiday.
Yeah.
Lagos,
and
so.
Pretty exciting stuff happened because I was at the Edrink Festival that happened over the weekend.
Okay.
And I have to say, I didn't know we had this much love. I knew people watched our podcast, but I didn't know people had this much love. Again, shout out to you guys. You guys that keep watching, keep subscribing, keep tailing our work. I appreciate. It was so organic. It was amazing.
It's because I guess because my own industry, I'm out more obviously in events, so it's like I'm always
you're always
people,
in. So
even I was like.
I'm not used to that.
That Edrink, I couldn't even make it because of Ilashe. I was like, the way you have energy to still go, I was like, bro.
See, and I had to go because I had to support a few of my friends, and it was something they had been hammering on for time. So I'm like, you know what, I kind of have to do this, right? But it was so organic. So again, apologies to whoever felt like I wasn't having to have long conversations. I'm not used to stuff like that. I'm not used to having to entertain or people, me getting people's attention and stuff like that.
You're a celeb now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But you're a celeb.
I'm not. So, but it's really great that people really listen. People are listening to me say things I just say.
So I make sure when you guys, as much as you guys are listening, make sure you subscribe. Please
subscribe. Yes,
subscribe to the channel
and tell your friends to subscribe. Please, it's not just you. Tell your friends to subscribe.
Make sure you follow us on all our platforms on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, so you can consistently see us. And then also, good news this weekend, we got nominated for an award.
We did. So we're gonna put all the info up.
Shout out to all of you.
Let's introspect. It's been barely a year.
It's been a year now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
been
when I say barely, it's just a year and 2 months, and we've come this far. It's amazing stuff. It really is amazing.
Make sure you go and vote for us, Sha. Go and vote for us. We're going to put the link on our bio, on our personal bios. So if you go check the Menisms page, you'll see the link there.
Yeah.
Go and vote. Let us try and win something in this year. We've been doing it. I beg of you, please. We're trying. We're young men just hustling out here. But we appreciate you guys for consistently listening to us. Thank you. What else would I say? I'll say shout out to everybody that was part of Sunday last year, of course. It was a crazy movie. Had fun as usual. Shout out to Beat FM, Blue Nun, Charlie Poppin, 5G, everybody that was involved with it, and even for us too. The Menism men were there. You had people coming to
let's focus on your message to the people.
No, I'm just giving them updates on what's happening now. Just it was a good weekend.
Speaking of updates, bro, I forgot to share this story with you. So on Saturday, I had the weirdest encounter with a police officer.
Interesting.
And I'm glad we're here now so I can even share it. So this was in the morning around 11. I was just coming back from a meeting with a client, and this was somewhere in VI. So they had their police checkpoints and whatnot. And I'm never worried about the checkpoints because I always have my papers complete and whatnot. So I'm like, yeah, sure, no worries.
Can't say that.
Don't kill me, please. Get your papers complete.
No, it's not the papers, but it's another
thing. Right. Anyway, so I was stopped by this officer. And, of course, he flagged me down, told me to roll down my window. And, of course, the next thing is, do you have your license and your, vehicle documents? And, of course, I did. I just, I pulled out my license. He looked at it. And the first thing he said was, so you're even Yoruba? You look very Igbo. I said, yes, I get that a lot. And then he said, what about the rest of your papers? And I was like, well, I mean, I have my vehicle documents stuck on the, windshield, and I have some other. I showed him all the other stuff as well and everything. He saw that everything was complete. Now, usually when they see that you have all your stuff complete, you kind of almost see them drop their shoulders. Like, you can almost physically see that they've dropped their shoulders. Now it's like, so how far now?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, let me tell you how this was wild, because I thought it was going to be one of those just whine him and be like, oh, God, not today. Do you know that this guy just moved to a very different direction? He was like, so how far now? And this one where you even find where you fresh like this. I mean, I was just like, no, bro, it's not be. Do you know that this guy? So, my window was rolled down. Do you know this guy put his hand through my window into my shirts? Okay. So don't kill me, please. Okay, so now this was the part of me that had to be emotionally, like, I felt like my emotional intelligence was pushed to the very edge. I was ready to fall off the cliff and just lose my shit. But I calmed myself. I said, Nora, you have an itinerary of things to do today. This can't be the direction I'm going to go. This was in the morning. It was like 11. Like, my day was just starting. I was like, I don't think I'm going to spend my day battling police wahala. So I calmed down. I said, bros, I just carefully moved. I said, bros, no, please. We know they do that one here. And, my shirt was open. So I was buttoned down. My shirt was open. This one where you even draw tattoo for body. Which one? He put his hand in, grabbed my chest.
Oh, we fighting on site. We are fighting on site. So let me fighting on site.
Do you know that? I mean, even I'm sure even from how I'm telling this story, you can tell I'm still traumatized. Like, I've never experienced something like that before.
You should have
in
videoed
my entire life. So have you seen how they get when you video them?
My nigga, yes.
But he has
that's a bound. No, that one's different, bro.
But they have guns.
So
nah, I'm not playing with that. Okay. Like I said, I had an itinerary of things to do for the day.
No, you did the right thing. Yeah. That's what I said. But no, on some real shit, I would have said like video if I was fight on site. And I'm not just saying this just because you know how many times. But nobody's ever touched me that way. For you to touch me, you've crossed the fucking boundary at that point. And you're not an officer. Fuck that.
I know the funny thing is that it happens so fast that when your mind can just not fathom that that's about to happen. You know when you can tell something might happen, then you bring out your phone.
Bro, I can't. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I couldn't record. It's easy for me to say this now, obviously based off reaction. But in that moment, you're probably going to be in shock. Bro, like this nigga's actually touching me.
I was full of shock. I could not after I was done. So I had to just play the cards of bro. So I know where I'll see you later. And he let me go, and like just a few minutes after that drive, I was just reflecting. I was like, what the fuck just happened? What did I just experience? As in, I don't, till tomorrow, I'm still like,
and that's it.
It happened so fast. I couldn't see it coming.
You made me just think of something now in terms of when you have an encounter like that with another man.
Yeah.
Forget police officer.
Yeah, just another man.
Another man, because I hate how the world has turned now. Because everybody's so damn sensitive. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not something, you're not something. So, for example, when it comes to an issue of being gay, we are not gay.
Yes.
And me, I'm confident to say that I'm comfortable with my sexuality. Like, yo, I'm good. I can chill I can do whatever. But if I'm not gay, I'm not gay. But then in this society and world we're in now, it's like if you are too aggressive or have a negative approach towards people that are gay, it's like you're homophobic. Use it against exactly.
Yeah. So I think for me, it was more about my personal space being adulterated, because that's exactly what it was. Like, bro, you just abused my entire, like, I couldn't wrap my head. I mean, I told my dad this story and he was cracking up, but he was like, yeah, that guy is definitely gay. Yeah, he was like, that guy is definitely gay and everything. Like, he couldn't, I had to show him how I was touched. He was like, I was like, see, I couldn't even, I was processing. Bro, I was just like, excuse me. So, to be honest, it also kind of put me in a first-hand experience of really understanding what women talk about when they say they couldn't do anything at the time when somebody was, touching them in an inappropriate way and they just froze. See, for the first time, I could actually picture it firsthand experience. I was just like this. Like I said, I drove off. I had left him. I was still like, I was just, in fact, I think for the first 10 minutes of my drive off, I wasn't sure where I was driving to. I was just driving. It was later I now collected myself. I'm like, oh shit, where am I going again? I could not believe what happened. Like,
You think because you see, I'm even because that's why I brought up the thing about that topic because I've been through that situation before now where somebody like one dude now, for example, like it was sometime in Lake, and that's why I said it. I can't lie to you. This is what made me open my eyes, saying, "Yo, I didn't realize there were that many dudes that were gay in Lagos," and I don't say that in a negative form in terms of like just in because you hear in Africa especially like gay is a taboo and all that,
or even like openly gay,
And then in the last few years, like obviously you've seen it be more. I don't want to say the word accepted, or to be fair, accepted. It's been more accepted where you see more men that are gay come out more that there's not such a ambush on them. But then now, the boundaries that are set is that, yo, you can't be touching somebody because you like I remember one dude now, someone was trying to be friendly, like, hey, how are you? I'm like, hey, what's up? How are you at first? Then at one point, he started touching me and all that shit. And then the first time, it's just like, hey. No, because I've handled that kind of situation. But then the second time, felt his hand right here. Yo, I was like, yo, my man, I'm comfortable with my sexuality, but don't touch me like that. Like, literally. And the thing is, maybe it's because, like, growing up in America now, we grew up with a lot of dudes that were gay. That's why I said, for me, it was weird. That's why I said, even you saying that, I can imagine. Well, you see, even me, I'm traumatized now from you saying the story. Because, again, the way we grew up in America is you knew there were dudes that were gay in the black, especially in the black. But at first, you get your ass whooped at first. But then, even the guys that were, it was something normal to me. It's when I came to Nigeria that it was like, the only person at first, when I first came, was Dinrele, that you thought was gay. Then as you got older, you see more. And it's like, how do you handle it? And like you said, that situation you've been in, if a guy is put in that situation, how are you supposed to react? Because there's two ways. It can be the aggressive way that I'm saying, and I'm not even saying I'm right. Or, like you said, it will show a lot of emotional intelligence. So it's like, how do you, if it wasn't a police officer and it was a guy, how would you have handled that?
You know, the funny thing about this question is that it's really interesting because I have been moved to by, gay men several times. But the difference is that they've never tried to, like, touch me in a way that... Now, I feel like that inappropriate touching cuts across all kinds of sexualities. Like, no matter what direction I'm swinging in... No matter what direction I'm swinging in, it's just wrong. Like, no matter the attraction you have. But I feel like they take advantage of the fact that it's a guy thing. Because I'm trying to think, what gives you the boldness? You wouldn't do that if it was a guy to a babe. You get, but I feel like because it's a guy to a guy, you're touching me in ways that. Let me give you an example. This police officer now would never have done that to a woman. Well, I mean, when I say never, listen to this now. This was broad daylight. This was 11 a.m. His other fellow officers were also there. Now he could have tried, but not so brazenly. He did it in such a way that not if it happened now.
Shame.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's shame.
What would you say?
No, do you know what? No, think about it. I thought about it. I thought about this one day. I said, why won't a lot of guys that are straight make a scene about it and all that in that moment? It's because of the shame. Because you're like, this man touched you yourself. No, even want to say I'm outside.
Perfect. You
know me. Like the time I said, I will even say to. It's like maybe one or two of my guys like, yo, this motherfucker tried to do it, but outside I'm not gonna go and make a whole scene because there's a shame to, as a man, your pride.
This funny. This is actually funny because. When you ask me how I react, already I'm thinking I would definitely show the person of like, the fuck, don't touch me like that, I beg. But at the same time, if I was playing the emotional intelligence card, I wouldn't want the person. And see, again, it's because we're trying to cozy into them being open about sexuality. I would say things like, oh no, I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in that way. This is me respecting that, I don't want to shame them. That's what it is. Because if I wanted to shame them, I would shout, hey, bro, don't touch me like that. But because we're now in an age where you have to be sensitive to stuff like that, right? So that's where the emotional intelligence came in. Or would come in rather. And I would say something like, don't touch me that way, please. But you see, the problem with that means of addressing that situation is that to other people I'll be telling is like, even to the guy, he will look at me like, he's playing hard to get. Let me see. I'm telling you this because
I'm not disagreeing.
You're just
it's just my reaction. It's just my reaction.
So they would actually tell you this one that it's not even as if he was pushing me off. So that even your other guys will tell you. So you just softly. So I'll go break your hand.
Unfortunately, like that's why I said it's because I feel like generation now we're too sensitive. The world has become too sensitive because that's why I said, like, you might have to be that aggressive approach. Like, and but as I said, sometimes I don't want to like say to the viewers now, especially like younger guys now, like, oh, be aggressive, go and beat somebody's ass. No, of course not. You don't even need to touch anybody.
Yeah.
Of course, at first state your boundary, but then
if they're being insistent, it's
there's a way you got it. Like, and that's why I said, even with the woman too, because even like you said, in situations like I've had situations at parties where some girls might be drunk. You now come and touch me, and because you're a woman, you think I'm not going to talk.
Exactly.
If you're touching me, like there was one girl that I'm not even going to say. Obviously, I can't say names. Obviously, I'm not saying, but there was one party like she was at, like, it was a girl I was cool with already though. Like before we had a thing or something, so she was now trying to come back again and talk. I was like, bro, baby girl, like not here, like right now, I'm working. And she kept being a little aggressive even. So at that point, when she's getting aggressive, like, you know me naturally, like, I'll be like, yo, you guys chill. But at the same time, I'm looking at the situation I'm in. I'm in the middle of my party. There's people around. If I accidentally touch this, and I'm not saying I'm touching her, but I'm just saying even the way, if I even push her or shove her off, it's going to look like it's
you're the one that is
like,
inflicting.
and so it's like, I had to like even code it, like, hold her hand, like, yo, chill the hell out. Like, please stop touching me in this way. And until she finally got the next, obviously sent an apology. I was drunk, but it's like, if that was a man now, do you do the same? Do you handle it the same way, or do you actually?
There's so many directions they could go in, because they could even say you're homophobic for trying to stop him from touching you.
But that's stupid.
So that's stupid. Yes, it is. I agree, and I'm like, that's the reality we're in now. And that's why I said you have to really think about like the situation and think about all the variables. You're saying,
no, but that's my.
It's unfortunate, but that's what we're now.
With what you just said now, because that actually is a problem, and I said that people pull that card. But no matter what, if you know yourself, are you in the wrong if you react that way?
I don't think you are, because again, it's still my boundary, right? And I think, again, this is for people who are, homosexuals or whatever sexuality you're leaning towards. Express yourself. There's no problem with that, right? But like, if you're going to express yourself without the permission of the person you're expressing to, then it becomes a serious problem.
Hell yes.
I mean, and I feel like a lot of, again, I can only speak for my own self and my own personal experiences, right? The times that people have moved out to me, even if it wasn't physical touch, you can tell they are being intrusive either in trying to have conversations with me, either in trying to, convince me to move in that direction. One thing about homosexuals is that, at least the ones I've experienced, is that they almost can swear that you have it in you somewhere. You're just being shy about it.
I won't say
my experience.
I'm about to say no, because I've heard a lot of dudes that, not a lot, that sounds funny, but I know, well, my whole life, to be fair, I've met a number of dudes that are gay.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they were the most chill dudes.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was surprised even, like, at least let me even say the ones that are like guys I say I'm still cool with. Because one, they know a lot of the baddies. Let's just start there. If you're cool with them, trust me, you're going to get a lot of baddies. So fair. Two, if you're actually cool with them, they're not dumb. They know the guys that are gay are not gay. They're not stupid. They know. So even if you're a guy that you like, I'm saying there's some of them don't know, obviously. So you're gonna have those guys that will try to do that, don't know. I'm saying the ones that are my friends.
It's not okay, your friends.
That's why I said my friends. They know, like, trust me, they even will be the ones to say never. It'll be this one. In fact, there was one time I remember, like, there's some even, that's why I said, even me being friends with guys that were gay. I remember there were times like some of my female friends would even be the ones to tell me, your friend. I'm like, hell no, like him, like, it can't be. And my friend would look at me like,
yeah, you don't know nothing. And the thing is, I mean, that happens to me too. I guess they call it a gaydar, and your gaydar sometimes is not as functional as you think.
What?
Yeah. So a gaydar is knowing you can see someone in sport, you just be like, yeah, that guy's gay. You know how for some of us guys, it's not. We always just think until the person is effeminate before the person can be gay. Yeah, we just believe that once the person is masculine and looks macho enough, there's no way he can be gay.
It's not by physical appearance. So
now we know that
you will see something that you butch. You say, in fact, bro, in Atlanta, for God's sake,
most of them are.
Do you see most of the guys? Yes. Most of my guys I need to stop saying my guys because that sounds funny. It's not my guys, so please. Guys I knew, like, there were these two dudes I went to school with in middle school, Peter and Sam. Yeah. Peter, already at 15 years old, this boy was 6 foot something, butch, used to wear wife beaters to school, everything, every babe one time, based off muscle. Sam was this pretty boy, muscular dude and all that. The baddest babes were going for these guys. In high school, they went to prom together. It shook everybody. And that was the day. And that's at 16, 17 years old. And I'm like, not be by physical appearance anymore, man.
It's not. And again, why I was saying that in my own personal experiences, they believe, because of course, I can't tell if it's just a Nigerian thing or just generally, but I know the ones that I've encountered in Nigeria, people tell me I have the look. I don't know what that is, but okay, we'll leave it at that.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Just because I hate that stupid thing so much. Because a guy takes care of himself does not mean no, and because I know what you're talking about, because I've been around a lot of girls and it's like, okay, for example, you dress well, you take care of yourself. In Nigeria, all of a sudden, nah, pretty boy, your ego do. What the fuck does that mean? Because a man takes care of himself does not mean, like me now, okay, like me, like I'm a normal guy, wear t-shirt and all that, cool. If I want to dress nice, dress nice. I even admire your confidence in how you actually dress very well, but it doesn't mean anything. I've seen you, we've been out together, like my nigga, we good, like you get what I'm saying. And girls will say, it's because you're doing a little, like even me, when you do little feminine shit, they'll go and say, are you sure? It's like, wait, because I like taking care of myself. So I should look rough.
And you know, I think for me, even when they say I look the part, I'm like, you know what? Do you? As long as I know I don't swing that way, that's fine. But when they are insistent, that's why I have the problem. You don't have to be insistent. We've talked. We can be friends. I have no issues. I mean, I have so many friends that are gay. Do you get? But the minute you're insisting that I must try it before I'm telling you I'm not gay, I'm just like, okay.
Because even me, I remember I stopped having debates with like some even guys that were gay based stuff. Like, hey, how do you know? How that? You've never tried. You see, for me, I'm 30. I'm a grown ass man. I love
not
women.
This shit again.
I'm sorry. I love women. I love women too. I've been around men. I played sports my whole life. Trust me, I've been around man. I don't see locker rooms. Ew. Yeah. Even me some days, I'm like, why do girls like me? But fair, I take so much of them. Like women to me are just beautiful. Like I love women. Yeah. You know, and I don't mean like in a. I'm just saying like even the presence,
love them as
being
a gender.
Exactly, having an opposite basically. Because being around man, them sometimes annoying. It's like,
it does.
So many guys sometimes you don't want that peaceful mood, but. It doesn't mean I now, because I've not tried it, as you say, that I don't know. The fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Fine.
Because I was going to say that, like, when I tell people, like, when I share this story that I just shared now about the police officer, and then I talk about how I reacted. Now, not the people that are in my close circle making these comments, but somebody else in maybe like a third-party circle would say something like, this one where you just gentle as you should say, enjoy, I'm small. So you get what I'm saying? And now those things can't really get to me at this point anymore. Maybe before, maybe long ago, but they can't get to me at this point anymore because I understand the gravity of the decision I made and the results he gave me.
Because you're thinking long term.
Because if I had just at the moment done things, bro, if the police officer takes me to a station, right, and tells me that that he tells his fellow colleagues that this young man did this, are they going to listen to me?
So, guys, example here. This is why I take perspective. Because me now, I'd have reacted. I end up in police station. But the smart thing to do, emotional intelligence, so you can go swallow your pride
and just go.
It's hard. It is hard. That's why I said I can't. You see, when you were saying the story, I was like, because even all of us, like we've gotten that stage, like there are a lot of decisions we actually have to start thinking more of. And even for me, that's been one thing I've done the last 2 years that I've become very mature in certain things. But obviously, there's certain aspects, like you say, like my initial reaction is like, God. In fact, I always say it's God. You see how my friends, like in that situation, I'll be like, God, I beg you, because I can lose it all right now.
Yeah,
I can lose it all. But then to have that maturity now, I respect that.
So
and again, it's a lot of, and the thing is, you can't even listen to those niggas that are talking outside, because the same guys are going and talk rubbish. And I notice a lot of niggas do that shit. Trust me, if you're in that situation, your ass will bitch out more. Those guys will bitch. That's why I say a lot of niggas talk. But until you are in certain situations, I've seen dudes fold. I've seen a lot of dudes talk when they're in situations. Not even talk about gay situations, just life in general.
Yeah.
You're the same one that was talking now. They talk now.
And the thing is, I think that's even why the story was more interesting, because I'm sure if someone asked me before the experience what I would do, I'd be like, policeman touch me, how? I'm not going to even bro, it humbled me. I was just like, what? Because
you're going to look at that. That's what I said. For all of
man even told me, have a nice day as I was driving.
For all of you that have not been arrested before, you don't know that. Again, it's easy talk. When that gun is near you or somebody clocks that thing near you, what do you want to do? Because these are not trained police officers, unfortunately. I'm not saying they're not good police officers, because there are very good police officers in this Nigeria. Some have saved me. But unfortunately, you have a lot that are not trained.
And they're emotionally unstable.
Thank you. That even if he reacted in the worst way now, like the way
vex.
I'm saying, be vexing. It takes that nigga one time to, and look, a trigger is just
one trigger.
This is all it takes.
Just one trigger.
This is all it takes.
And the worst part is that if I die, then it's like,
what?
We're investigating. We're looking for the officer. That's the end. And then everybody just goes, I mean, so I guess, I mean, what we're basically saying now is that, I mean, I share this story particularly because I needed people to understand that, bro, there's some situations that you believe that you can have it handled and sorted until you experience it and you will wake up.
You just reminded, sorry, this bro. Is so out of, you just, that's why I said, you see, you said that thing about being in certain situations. There's one story I just thought of now. I can share it now because I'm, Baba, did I tell you about the time that somebody came into one apartment I was staying in and tried to break in?
Shit, that's, yeah,
I didn't know if it was the babe, and then the police almost arrested me that same time.
It was last year. It was last year, yes.
Because, again, see how you guys go talk. Again, at that time, there was one girl I was talking to, but it wasn't a serious thing.
Yeah.
Had friends over, all that shit. When my friends all left, obviously it's late and shit.
Yeah.
So she saw the girl pull up and all that.
Yeah.
She pulls up. Obviously chills in the crib for a bit. After an hour or so, we go to the room. Fine. Boom. Crash. As I'm there sleeping, I'm not even fully asleep. Mind you, she just came in. Next you know, I just hear my door being open. I'm laying down like this.
Dramatic Nigerian movie.
So I'm like this. So at first, I just go like this. Okay, somebody is here. I look up, I see a dark figure. So obviously the Nigerian is saying blood of Jesus and all that. Then as soon as I just go, yo! As soon as I say, yo, dude grabs my phone because it was on the edge of the beach and starts running out. So at that point, I just jump up and start chasing him, but I push the doors to lock them. So she gets up screaming, ah! And so I'm like, hey, calm down. So I go lock the doors. Then at that point, I remember like she's screaming and then I'm frozen for 10 seconds. For 10 seconds, I can't move. She's hitting me and I'm just there
processing. Because you're just processing, bro.
In my head, I'm like, at that point, then I remember, like, that's when I said emotional challenges. Like, a rage just came in my head first because I'm like, yo, somebody tried to break in my shit. I just grabbed my Afro comb, those iron ones. I just went because I'm like, see, one of us will die here today. You tried to rob me in my own house. Don't worry. So I go outside, try and look for the person. Can't find. I go around the whole compound, banging doors and shit. But then I'm like, wait, I start thinking, was that set up? See what I said? And all these thoughts that, bro, when I say the fear I now started having, because you know, initially you're, then you're now thinking, wait. Hold on, but she just came. And that's why I said situations you don't know as a guy. Like, obviously, thank God it wasn't the case or not. And like, say the police came and they almost arrested me. But that's why I said, like, all that talk you talk as a guy, onto you and so, bro, since that day, that fear I felt that day, like, thank God it wasn't as bad as it was. Like, in the end, the person that stole my phone was in Lagos Island the next day. Right. It was one of the guys that broke in, one of the gatesmen that ran away after. Okay. I'm like, bro, imagine it turned another situation or something. Like, it's grace of God, though, really. It's not, you actually don't know as a guy or even as a person how you react in something until you're in that situation. So, my bro, trust me, there's nothing, you acted the right way, to be very honest. A nigga has a gun, what you want to do?
What? See, I just thought about it. I said, and I think I froze more because of how boldly. You see, if this was nighttime.
Yeah, exactly. You go cold down.
Bro, broad daylight, cars are passing. This is a busy road. Cars are passing by. And you know, the truth is that if I shout, I mean, I can't scream and say, you know, what the hell was going on. His colleagues will come.
And then it can either go very left.
No, wait, listen to this. How do you know they don't know that that's how he behaves? Like, that's his thing. And so, if I'm screaming for his colleagues to come help me, right, that's, oh, please, me not knowing that they are coded on it, they can even just come and play one. Oh, is he doing anything? Oh, sorry about that. We'll address it. And now actually treat my fuck up. Then that's when, imagine now all of them wanting to gang up on me, leave whoever they're attending to, and not actually gang up. Because you know how policemen will do. They just tell you, open your door,
once three of them surround you, I'm going to give you some game. If two of them you can handle. Once it's three, do not corner yourself by the car. Yes. Because at that point, you're entering that car or they're all following you.
Exactly. So it's so many scenarios were running in my head at that time. I just say, you know what, this isn't worth. It isn't worth whatever this is.
It's honestly not worth.
Let him do his thing. I'll just chest it as a man. It's emasculating, but hey, there's nothing I can do. And that's the thing
as a man. That what makes you a man. People don't realize what makes you a man is how you react. Like you said, we've been saying, to certain situations. Because, like I said, as men, naturally you're aggressive, but a real man would think about his actions. Because
you can't look at me and think I don't have the capability to handle the physical. Are you joking with me?
Go kill
him. Bro,
I
will break his face. I will break his face, but I didn't need that. Okay, now imagine if I actually did something and the officer gets injured. The story has changed.
You're finished.
You're finished. The story has changed.
You are finished.
Because now he's going to come and say he was just checking my papers and next thing I hit him. It's done. There's no video footage of what he did because I couldn't catch it on camera. How? I didn't even know it was about to happen. Now the case has totally changed. I'm now in station trying to write reports about this officer that I injured for doing his job. Where do I start from? Because even if I'm explaining this to family members, whoever, even if I'm explaining to a lawyer,
unfortunately, we're in Nigeria. This is going to sound so bad, but unfortunately, a lot of people, because of the lack of exposure and all that, their level of thinking or processing when it comes to situations like this now is like the most ridiculous. Like they don't comprehend like possible scenarios of things that can happen in that kind of thing, in terms of, oh, this actually could have happened. No, to them it's either A or B.
Yeah,
a lot of African Nigerians just it's either A or B. What do you mean? The explanation that actually is the explanation that is needed. If it's not A or B,
it can't be
anything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate about that. So, and you see all that context. I was just thinking that nobody's gonna come and save me if I want to be the hero in shining armor in this situation. So I'm like, you know what? Take my L. Let this just be a story for the books. And I know for next time I'll know how to handle it. Next time I either don't wind down too much to a point where he can actually put his hand in and all that. So I mean, I definitely have like my solutions for whatever's gonna happen moving forward. But yeah. Anyways, guys.
Look, we just that was a topic right there on its own. Like
protect people's personal spaces, please. Yes, okay, all right.
Like,
now, this is not about sexuality or genders or whatever. Just
if someone respect your boundaries.
Just respect your boundaries. Respect your boundaries. So we do have a comment, or we have
comments.
Yeah, comments.
There's some comments you guys have been sending in. Thank you, by the way, and make sure you keep sending them in to us so we can be reading them out, because a lot of times that's even what gives us our topics for the show.
Exactly.
So even for now, we're gonna read a few.
Keep sending. So this one says, this is from a person called Idris, and well, real or fake name Idris. So yeah. So this says, I like the show when it was very raw and honest. It's still honest, but sometimes I find it catering to something else. For lack of a better word, maybe a woke culture, maybe.
So first off, thank you for the comments. First off, there's no woke. I don't even know what the fuck that woke culture shit is. Like, to me, we speak to whoever wants to resonate with it, because you know what? I did see some comments about something, and I was like, I won't say anything, but I will say something, because some people now, we have a wide audience. You have the people that are in Nigeria with us, in Lagos. You have people abroad, people that went to uni, didn't go to uni, professionals, non-professionals, streets, non-streets, and people are just like, oh, this podcast only caters to the Ajabota or the butter people and all that. I'm like, how the fuck do you, like, what? Yes, we are fine boys. It doesn't mean we they also like, and it's like, what I mean by that also is like, even the context of what we're talking about is not to any social class.
Yeah, we're just sharing what we've been through.
And even if you listen to it, anybody can relate in their own way in terms of even the level you're on. Bro, I tell people all the time, I did not live the life I'm living here my whole life. When I was in America, I tell people, even the house that have stairs, I did not have a house that had stairs. Like, but obviously, levels are different, because I always joke and say, even if you're in America or England and you stay in like the worst area, you still get lights. You can't, and that's why I say you can't compare poverty in Nigeria to poverty abroad. Right. But what I'm just trying to say is that if you listen to the context of what we talk about, anybody can relate, no matter where you are. Yeah, and you just have to put it to your own situation. That's the beauty about podcasts. Is like, you take certain messages now. Like, bro, I always tell people, even the social class they talk about in Lagos, fine. There's some extreme measures where some people don't feel the problems of Lagos. Us, we feel it. But at the same time, look, I say there's no social class here, because whether you like it or not, if you stay in Ikoyi, if you stay in Ikeja, both of you still go to the same struggle of Nigeria.
Yeah. There's also another angle to that, to what he was also asking, and I think I would like to address that part. So I find that a lot of people who started watching the podcast, especially because it was a podcast about two guys talking about their, experiences in life, women, work, family, stuff like that. Now, I want to believe that a lot of it will come from the discussions around women, right? Because this is where people say either you're being real or being fake, and here's where I'm going to address it. So for me, what I believe is people grow, right? And I feel like that growth comes in several instances. And when I say growth, I mean, just like how you were saying now, how you would have handled the situation is different from how you handle it now, based on the fact that you've understood that there are so many other things involved, right? Now, if, let's say, sometime last year, I would say things like, don't trust women, oh. And then this year I'm saying, you know what, trust them a little. To somebody else, they're like, now you're catering to the society because women are now watching your podcast and, you're now trying to... No, imagine this is how they think. I'm telling you this because people have had...
No, I'm not disagreeing. Exactly. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm laughing.
I'm laughing.
So they would now say something like, you're now catering to women because women are not watching. But you see, it's called growth. And that growth is, we've understood now that after dealing with certain people, after, people teaching us certain ways that we have to unlearn, because we all grew up learning several things, right?
Mm.
So if all the while we were thinking, women are wicked, but then half the time we're actually introspecting and saying, you know what, actually I did this girl wrong and this is why she reacted like this. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you start to address women moving forward, it's with a lot more sentiment, a lot more sensitivity. So if I'm saying then that it's true, and if I'm saying then that, you know what, maybe women are not as bad. I'm just giving an instance again. I still think women are wicked. Please don't trust women.
This nigga's being so political and shit. That's like, when you grow, it's a level. No, you're not wrong. But just laughing.
I know. So and this is important for me because I feel like people don't, and this is very key, and I feel like listeners should also take it. People don't keep tabs on their growth. And when I say keep tabs, what I mean is like, check who you were last year and check who you are this year and actually notice the growth. Yeah. People just move on with life and just say, I don't, but they don't actually sit back and think of who they were. They just know who they are now. They just be like, I don't like taking women. But they don't think about the fact that, I'm just giving an instance, a random instance. It could be that this year I like taking women, but before I didn't like taking women, and that, I'm serious. And that instance can come from your idea of thick women just being that.
I thought you said the example, like at least a mental example.
No. Please, we're being real here, because that's another change that people don't introspect on. If you're, I know I'm saying this as well, because even when women ask, "What's your spec?" and my spec from last year is my spec from this year, then they look at me, you didn't even have spec. I'm like, what happened to growth? I have experienced this level, and I just found out that I actually don't like those kinds of women. Like.
It's like,
but the thing is that guys don't say that, last year that's who I was. They just say.
Are you saying guys or people?
So I'm saying guys now because we are
not in the wrong way. I'm just asking.
No, I'm actually saying guys because I'm talking from the angle of us being. They said that we were raw before, and the only angle people could talk about being raw with it is more like.
To be honest, I feel like we just vented. Like you said, it's relating to what you just said. We were more venting when we started because obviously it was a fresh start.
Yeah.
So of the frustrations we had with women, you guys let them out.
Yeah.
If we're still having you all are hypocrites also, by the way. Let me just say right now, especially the Nigerian audience. No, I'm going to attack some of you. You attack us in the comments. So I love you, but I'll attack you because if we kept talking the same way we were talking 2 years ago,
then
there'll be the same ones insulting the life out of Lizzie Agbaya still talking about Lagos women at your age. Have you not gotten over it? Don't think, won't fall for your games though. And if, like on some real shit, even me, I'm like, if I'm still dating the same kind of girls I was 2 years ago that were stressing my life, you say, my wife, no, you actually have issues. Like,
and that's the growth I'm talking about. So you see, people change, but when you start to keep tabs on your growth and you actually introspect, you sit down. We spoke about this in one of our old podcasts, in one of our old episodes rather, where you have to sit down and rethink about your current stage and how many things have changed between the last time you recall and now. If before I was a fighter and anytime somebody just says something, bro, I'm punching somebody's face. But today I'm not, and other people are saying, normal you would have expected you. We know you now. You will not react.
That is me to the grace of God.
So normal you don't react, but now I'm not reacting. And then people are telling you, you've changed. I'm like, it's not. I've grown.
It's growth. It's growth. It's the Lord.
I've grown from that. Like, so if I don't have to do those things anymore, then there's just no.
And even with women, like
this is not to say that if women frustrate me, I still won't come here and vent.
No, but for me, I ain't gonna lie. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like I can say, like I've not had women stress. Like thank God I've grown.
We know. We look up to you. We look up to you.
But it's been a very calm year.
We know why it's been a calm year. We know.
No, it's just peace of mind. I've changed my life. Just focused on more things, individual things that I,
of course,
should be doing.
Of course,
that's all. We know these streets.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, anyways, I think again to address that, it's not that we are not being real or raw anymore. It's just that
maturity and growth.
And also, if the circumstances beg for it, we will definitely tell it to you as it is. Trust me.
Those were
all right. So this next one is from again real or fake name Adeleke Kehinde. And the person has to put their name. Okay, so I guess they do want to be known. So it says, my name is Adeleke Kehinde Boluwatife. I'm a student of Caleb University 300 level. And I'm one of your biggest fans of the podcast. I even started my own podcast because of you guys. But that's not where I'm going. My point is, I noticed something and I just wanted to chip in my idea. I noticed that most students in university don't listen to the podcast. And I know I might not be your I know they might not be your preferable listeners. Actually, they are. I mean, everybody's a listener. Might not be your preferable listeners, but it will surely bring in more listeners if you feature university students, like a university, or feature university students, like do a university tour or whatnot. And it would really be nice if you allow the students to share his or her experience. It would really be nice and lovely. Please really feature me. I would be really glad. And I have lots of things I want to share. Please, I'm going to keep sending this mail till I get an answer. I love you guys so much. Okay, so I think we can easily say that whoever Kehinde Boluwatife is will definitely at some point find a way.
If you want a uni tour, go and message Madeaux. Go and message Madeaux and their CEO. Yes. We can even give you his name, government name, address if you want to. Go and tell him you want a university tour. But to you guys, thank you. We actually have had university students listen, and we think they do listen, because even for some of the topics we've talked about, university experience, and even from our initial episodes, those are actually our university experiences. Obviously now, we're grown men. We're not old, but we're grown men. So we have a mixed audience now, but it's also for you to introduce it to your friends. Like, we obviously push our platform, but you too, as a university student, you have a huge advantage in terms of you can easily go around your campus sharing this to your friends, and then from there messages start going across. So by God's grace, the university tour will come soon, but you too yourself, just spread it amongst your friends in uni, in the networks, and let's see where it goes.
So he's pretty much said everything in a nutshell. We definitely are not trying not to involve university students, right? If at all anything, we definitely want to hear what they're going through, because I imagine that in our time in uni, it would be very different from what they're experiencing.
We didn't have there weren't any no mail podcast or
we didn't. I don't think we had. So it would be very nice to hear that. So it's in the works. Okay, we'll definitely consider this, and we'll keep you guys up to speed, right?
But of course, thank you guys again for always tuning in to us. Thank you guys for spending your time with us. We appreciate you. Let us know what you think in the comments about this topic. For all of you that keep fighting me, because I don't understand Nigerians every time. You're interrupting Muyiwa. It's not your show. He is not complaining. Are you? In fact, Muyiwa, let's ask him now. Are you complaining?
I'm not.
Put the camera back on me, please. But thank you. We still like that you watch it. But honestly, thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe to all our channels and to our personal channels. Do you have anything you want to say to people?
Again, please vote the award. You guys have to vote. If you guys don't vote, that means we know that you guys are not watching this podcast.
Fake.
That means listeners. You guys are fake listeners. You guys are fake supporters. You guys are fake fans.
God forbid, you're not fake.
But we know you guys are organic. We know you guys really love us. So please show some love, and then vote us. We're gonna have all the info after the video and on the Menisms bio on our social media platforms. So yeah, I think that's pretty much
that's it. Again, shout out to you guys, and until next time, I'm Michael Scenario,
and I'm Mure. Welcome,
and we'll see you next week on Menisms.